Video games. Exquisite pieces of art. Stories that can be told for generations. And all in all, a grand old time. Each person's tastes are quite unique.
I want you inside me. Oh, baby.
The reason I mainly love video games is an escape from reality. Being able to whisk yourself off into a world created entirely by someone else. Someone you'll probably never meet in your entire life. Everybody has a story. Some people choose to make it into a book, some choose a movie, a poem, and many people just choose to leave it entirely to themselves. Now keep in mind that this list reflects my feelings towards video games right now, so it will change from time to time. I'm only picking one game per franchise as well, since we would end up with a list entirely made of 2 franchises if the other were the case. And also, I'm only picking games that I've played, obviously, so some random amazing Japanese game that you've played that I haven't won't show up on the list. Or maybe it will. You never know. That being said, this is my list of top 10 favorite video games of all time.
Number 10! Mario Kart, the fickle mistress of the gaming world. Oh, come on! This game makes number 10 on my list simply because it's fun. That's all. So why this Mario Kart? Well, this was the first one I bought myself as a kid. I got it day one and I was super psyched for it. None of the other Mario Kart games got me even close to as psyched. It really delivered, and to this day I still play this game with my sister on occasion. Plus, Baby Park can lead to absolute chaos faster than you can say pneumonia ultramicroscopic silicone volcanoconiosis. Number 9! Oh my god, it's Chrono Trigger! Yeah! Chrono Trigger was a game I had as a child and completely forgot about. My dad had a save file where you were supposed to go into the magic cave and never got any further. I picked up the game and tried to play it and couldn't figure out, so I just gave up. All I remembered about the game was vaguely going to an area where there was a giant wall and the overworld theme from that era. When the game got re-released for Virtual Console, I saw it was getting amazing ratings, so I decided to get it. It was only when I heard that theme that I actually remembered the game. Amazing sometimes what music can do. But anyways, Chrono Trigger is one of the most elaborate and well thought out storylines I've ever seen in a game. It's absolutely brilliant. Honestly, it's been a couple years since I actually played the game in full, so I really couldn't tell you exactly what happens off the top of my head, so I'll spare you the details. Just know that Chrono Trigger has one of the most amazing storylines and battle systems ever, and that's why it earns the number 9 spot. Number 8. What? A game made within the last 5 years? Yes, this is Cloudberry Kingdom. In my opinion, easily the best game to come out in 2013. This game makes the number 8 spot on this list because it's an absolute riot. The game has a really challenging story mode, which is filled with, well, basically the exact same thing as every other mode in the game. I didn't say this game had a lot of content, okay? Each level, however, is randomly generated by a very well-programmed engine, so you'll never get the same level twice. There's also lots of different modes to play on, ranging from just having a double jump or a jetpack to being strapped to a giant wheel. You can even play a multiplayer mode where you're tethered to the other players, which is really difficult, but really funny when you're dragging the other person's corpse around. Plus the character customization option is really cool too. All in all, Cloudberry Kingdom is definitely one of the most fun platformers that I've ever played, and I know that it will continue to be for years to come. Number 7. Whoa, what's an Animal Crossing game doing on this list that's not New Leaf? New Leaf is the best. There's more characters, more customization options, you even get to be mayor. Well, you're wrong. That's right, I definitely prefer the DS entry of the Animal Crossing series simply because it got me through a really rough time in my life. This was definitely the most excited I've ever been for a game coming out, hands down. This one came out 3 days before we were moving from our town that we love to where I currently live. The move was totally unfair and absolutely heartbreaking on me and my sister. It hit me particularly hard though, because I had to move away from my 2 best friends in the whole world. That was 8 years ago, and I still have a picture of myself and them hanging on the wall by my bed. This game, though, served as a distraction for months after the move, and in all honesty, I wouldn't be the same person I am today if it weren't for this game. The gameplay itself is nothing particularly amazing, but this is the entry in the series I always find myself coming back to, mostly because it reminds me of a simpler time in my life where I lived with my two best friends and didn't have to worry about anything. Number 6. Majora's Mask. This game has some of my favorite music in any game ever. I mean, Calling the Four Giants, Astro Observatory, Clocktown theme, the list goes on. The gameplay for this is definitely the most creative in the Zelda series as well. Get the Majora's Mask back in 3 days or everybody dies. Simple enough, right? Wrong. As anyone who plays the game knows, there's definitely the element of time that's your biggest factor. The reason I love this so much is because it makes you feel rushed, but not in a way where you're going to be completely screwed over. Unless you run out of time right before a boss fight, then you're just screwed. Wait, I'm just about to beat him, I can do this, No! Plus, there's the entire mask element of the game. Different masks will let you do different things to collect heart pieces, rupees, and such. The really cool thing is that these masks are actually the physical embodiments of people that you have run into during your quest. The Elegy of Emptiness will allow you to make statues of whoever you're playing at. And they're actually the statue of the character in the game whose body you're using, if that makes any sense. But if you make a statue of yourself, then who's this? Number 5! Oh come on, you knew there had to be a Mother game on this list. Mother 3, although never seeing an American release, is definitely one of the best games I've ever played. I mean, the story, the feels. This is probably the only game I've ever played that has actually made me cry. Like, not just tear up, but full-blown cry. For those of you who haven't played this game, because I know not a lot of people have, I'll just say that it's absolutely amazing. Sure, Chapter 2 is absurdly difficult, but what good RPG doesn't give you a challenge? I'll put instructions on how you can play this game in the description, since it never actually saw an official English release. But just know that Mother 3 gets the number 5 spot, because it's really the only game I've ever played that makes you feel feelings this strongly. Number 4! Oh yeah, gonna bust out some Banjo. What the hell is this? Banjo-Tooie? I think you spelled Kazooie wrong. Nope, I didn't. I actually prefer the sequel. Probably because I never played Banjo-Kazooie as a kid. This game is amazing. There's so many things to collect. Jiggies, notes, Cheeto pages, Globos, the list goes on. Each world gives you a really cool environment that's absolutely unique. My personal favorite world is Jolly Roger's Lagoon, since I spent so much time there. As a kid, I could never find the Talon Torpedo move that you get from Jam Jars, which is required to unlock the next world. I spent days, nay weeks, looking for that silo so I could move on, and the only reason I stuck at it and ever found it was because I loved the world so much. In elementary school, me and my friends used to walk around and talk about this game every recess for months. This game is really quirky too, and the multiplayer is really fun. The biggest rage-inducing thing in the game, the Canary Mary race in the final world, was something that I never had trouble with, so even that is enjoyable for me. But it's because of the memories that I have tied to this game and my friends as a kid that puts this game so high on the list. Number 3! Okay, before I start on this one, let me just say this. Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Tooie are most definitely tied for the number 3 spot. The only reason that this is number 3 and Banjo-Tooie is number 4 is because I had to rank the series of Donkey Kong higher than the Banjo series, because I like the Donkey Kong Country series better than Banjo-Kazooie, because I've never played Banjo-Kazooie. That is all. However, this game is most definitely the spiritual successor to the Donkey Kong Country series. Oh my god, it's a ghost! I got this game for Christmas of 1999 with an N64 to boot.
Okay, seriously, would you stop cutting away every 2 seconds? I'm trying to talk about the game here.
Thank you. Anyways, as I was saying, having an N64 made me the most popular kid on the block. We played this game to death. Hell, the original cartridge had over 500 hours of gameplay, each on 2 separate files before we sold it. Not to mention the fact that me and my sister played the multiplayer to death. Again though, this was another one of those games that got me through a really tough move. We basically got the game, and then were told 3 days later that we were moving. This game has more collectibles than any game I've ever played, maybe even more than any game on the planet. To this day, I've still never gotten them all. I'm pretty sure I've gotten everything at least once, though. In this game, you play as 5 Kongs: Lanky, Tiny, Diddy, Chunky, and the star, DK himself. Each Kong in each world will have 5 golden bananas and 100 individually colored bananas. You need to collect a certain number of colored bananas to fight the boss, and a certain number of golden bananas to unlock the next world. There are also 20 banana fairies where, if you get them all, you unlock a secret 201st banana, which gets you 101% completion. My favorite thing about this game, however, was the blueprint aspect. You see, in each world, there are 5 guys wandering around that have blueprints, one for each Kong. You give these blueprints to Snide, who will exchange them for a golden banana. However, in addition to this, he will provide you 1 additional minute in the final world, which is on a time limit. The world is doable without collecting any of the blueprints. Trust me, I've done it, but it's really difficult. It's all these things, though, and more that put this game as number 3 on this list. Number 2! Gen 2 sucks. Gen 1 is the best. Gen 1 or die. All the best Pokemon are in Gen 1. Red and blue or eat my poo. Enough! Pokemon Gold and Silver are games that are very close to my heart. The first glimpse I ever had at these games was at my friend's house before we moved. He was actually playing a Japanese version of the game in late 1999 or 2000. I don't remember. I was like 7. Anyways, we finally got the game like 2 or 3 years later, and they were everything that I wanted them to be from the originals. They took everything that was amazing about Red and Blue, like being able to catch all sorts of Pokemon, strategize, and fight your way to the top. In addition to the new 100 Pokemon, there are also 2 new types introduced, something that has only been done once since. Dark and Steel types not only balanced out the overpowered Psychic types, but there are 2 types that I've really grown to love. In addition to having a huge new region to explore, you could also go back to Kanto, the region from the first game, and collect 8 badges from there too. A lot has changed though, including the freaking Snorlax that always sweeps my team! But the inclusion of the Kanto region is something they haven't done since, and it's really cool. Sure, there were the Sevi Islands in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but it's not the same because the gym battles are the funnest part. But it's because of its ingenuity and risk-taking that is what nets the game the number 2 spot. The ultimate number 1! What can I even say about this game? It's perfect? That pretty much sums it up. For many of you, it's no surprise that Star Fox 64 is my favorite game of all time. You know why? Replayability, that's why. I've literally played and beaten this game over 1,000 times. I own it on every medium on which it is available. I bought an adapter to use my PS3 controller on my computer so that I could emulate this game while my Wii was broken. When I didn't have an N64, that's how much I need to play this game. This game is so amazing because it never gets old. The characters are so memorable, like who could forget Slippy, who literally almost dies within the first 30 seconds of the game. Or Peppy with his famous
Do a barrel roll! Do a barrel roll! Do a barrel roll! The barrel roll press B or R twice!
Even Falco is really awesome. He tries to compete with you by being the ace pilot. I use that term really loosely because you constantly have to save him too. He does, however, give you access to secret routes and items you wouldn't otherwise have, which is really cool. Plus, there's the 2 side plot character thingies, Cat and Bill. Bill was a bulldog who was in Flight Academy with Fox, and now fights for the Cornerian Army. Cat has an awkward, sexually tense relationship with Falco, and apparently lives on Zonus or something like that, I don't know. If she wasn't on Zonus, honestly, it would probably be my favorite level. But my favorite is either Titania because of the rescue mission aspect of it, or Area 6, because the entire level is an absolute cluster, and it's so fun to press A so fast, oh my god, shoot everything you can, it's so fun! The game has lots of different routes that you can take. I forgot how to do the math, and I was too lazy to count, but I think it's 25 if memory serves. But this game is my favorite of all time, because it's just so amazing, I can't even begin to articulate. The stages are so beautiful, the bosses are memorable, it's hard, but it can be so easy if you want it to be. The list goes on and on and on. Plus the quotes. There's so many quotes that you can make for this game. If you watch my videos, you'll see that I quote this game all the time. And there's a good reason, but it's for these reasons and many more why I can call this game my favorite of all time.
Well, there you have it. My top 10 list for favorite games of all time. Sure, none of them were made after like 2006, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for the classic. Hey, what about Cloudberry Kingdom, dumbass? And if you have any suggestions for games that I need to play because I haven't covered them in this list, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, thank you for watching.